excited. We haven't done a call in a while. So thank you guys so much for being here. I know it's a busy time, and so we won't keep you forever. We're gonna try and keep it pretty short and sweet, under 30 minutes if possible. Just cut us off though if it gets long, because Christy and I like love each other. She's there on my screen. That's why I'm pointing there. But Christy and I love each other, and we just love to chat. But the cool thing is we met through all of this. There's no way I would have met her besides the fact that I joined a team, and you just connect so well with the people that you're on the team with. But I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Tanya, or T-Lip on social media, for those that might not be in my boot camps or don't know me. My name is T-Lip because I'm a social worker. I work in a school. I've also worked with adults, and I've worked with people who have homicidal thinking, suicidal thinking, and I have to be on social media in that way, just for confidentiality, privacy, because the last thing I need is for me to have a previous client that may have been upset or may have had thoughts about wanting to harm myself or my family show up on my doorstep. So that's why I kind of have that little dual person like thing going on there. But my story with starting with this really started back a long time ago. Back in 2013, I was in grad school for social work, and I found an info commercial. I put on like 25 pounds, because anyone that's in social work, all we do is write papers. Like, we're just researching, writing papers constantly. I found this info commercial. It looked really fun. I was eating chips saying, yes, I do need this. Typing away, having junk food, eating by myself. And I was like, okay, yes, I need this program. It looked so fun. And I got it, and it was fun, but I wasn't consistent. And then I saw like a transformation picture of my now coach, Kelsey's my upline. And I was like, God, what is she doing? And so I reached out to her, being someone who's I'm not really scared to talk to people. That's what I do for a living. I was like, what are you doing? I need to be doing this. And she introduced me to her boot camps. At first, I did not join them. I was completely broke. But as soon as I got a part-time job, I was like, I can join. And so I hopped into her boot camps and loved them. I loved the community aspect. I loved the resources, being part of a group of women that really wanted to work on their health, because not everybody who I'm around wants to do that. Not everybody who I'm around encourages that. And so it was really fun, and I felt accountable. I saw good results. I felt really good, and continued on. And then life happened, and in 2015 my dad got sick with cancer. And anyone that has a parent or a loved one that has ever gone through cancer, you put everything out the window, you know and my self-care completely was lost again. And I put on like 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds in there, and just lost myself, honestly. And um, I continued after he passed away in 2017. And it wasn't until 2018 I went to a doctor's appointment. My school that I work for, we're part of a hospital, and they ask you to go to these annual checkup appointments to get a discount on your health insurance. You have to do multiple things, but that's one of the pieces. And I've always done it. And that year I went was the spring of 2018. And I went, and my numbers were skyrocketed. It wasn't just the weight, it was the blood pressure, the cholesterol, like everything had gone like this. Like, I was one of those people that had a really healthy score, and then all of a sudden my risk for depression, my risk for like medical health, everything went up, because I was really just drowning in this grief, you know? And in that moment, I remember Kelsey saying years ago, have you ever thought about this coaching thing? Like, you love the boot camps, you're engaged in there. You would make a great coach. You love helping people. And I was like, I'm going to be a social worker. I got my master's. I spent 2 years getting a degree. I really wanted to focus on that. So it wasn't the right time then. And all of a sudden, this thought kind of started going through my mind, thinking, what am I going to do to get myself healthy? Because clearly what I'm doing, I'm heading down the wrong path. So this wasn't about getting abs for me. This wasn't about looking good in a bikini. This was literally like, I am like killing myself. Like, I'm going to be on medication, or I'm going to have a heart attack. And I get to pick which one I want, or I can make a change. That's what was going through my mind. And So I said yes to coaching. I reached out to, well, I reached out to her. I tracked her down and I was like, I need this in my life. Like she wasn't repeatedly asking me or anything. I found her and I was like, I need this. I need this. And I saw the potential because at that moment, when you're drowning in grief and you're not taking care of yourself, every aspect of your life is pretty crappy, including my job at the time. And I thought, if I ever want to have children, if I ever want to be like happy, I probably need to make a big change. And I thought, this is something that potentially could change my life. And the worst case scenario, I get in really good shape and I feel healthy and I feel good again. And you know what happened is it didn't just transform my health, it transformed like my mental health, it transformed my community. I got connected with women who are incredible, like Christy, and I got to meet people like Alex, who I would have never met. There's no way I would have never met them if I wouldn't have kind of immersed myself into this community. I wasn't on social media. I didn't even have Instagram when I started coaching. I literally joined Instagram in 2018 in May. It was like May 9th, just for this. And I decided I'm just going to go for it. And that's how I got started coaching. So our stories are pretty different. So I'm going to let Christy kind of take the baton, but I think it's important that you guys understand that we aren't doing this because of financial reasons. We're doing this because it changed our lives, and it has the potential for other aspects. But yeah, Christy, go ahead and I'll let you go.
It just has potential for so many things. And like Tanya said, my story is so different. And that's the best part of being on this journey, is helping new women become part of our community, watch them throughout the years. Now several years I've been running our community, and just seeing how it's really impacted people's lives, how it's impacted mine too. My journey started 4 years and a few months ago. In January of 2016, I was looking for a change, but didn't know what that change would be. In February, I followed one of my very favorite home improvement ladies, Joanna Gaines, and love her. If you don't, sorry, but I'm a fan. Texas girl here. And she was doing a 21-day challenge. Now, I have no idea if it had anything to do with the 21-day challenges that we do, but she was doing a 21-day challenge, and I'm like, hey, I like Joanna. Like, I'm going to do a 21-day challenge too. So I moved my body for 21 days. So that was like my first step of, I got to do something. You guys, I was overweight. I was out of shape. I wasn't sleeping well. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I knew we were eating horribly, like just all the things. And so that 21-day challenge for me was like the first step to doing something for myself, because at the time I was a mom of two, a 2-year-old and I think she was 6, and life was crazy. It was just a really different season of my life. Motherhood for me meant taking care of everybody else and not putting anything in it for myself. And I realized that motherhood needed to be me doing something for myself so I can be my best self for all of the people, including my husband. So in March, one of my best friends that I work with brought this set of DVDs into my office and was like, girl, you need to try this. And I'm like, I don't think so. And this was one of my girlfriends that she had an amazing transformation from these at-home workouts. We've been talking about it forever. And I was like, there's no way I can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to push play on some DVD and work out. And I don't have time for that. That's too hard. I'll die if I do it. I mean, I was like full of all the excuses, right? But she's like, you can do it. Let's get a workout schedule for you. Like, let's print that, we can download it. I don't have a lot of the materials anymore, but let's find something for you. So we download like this plan, and I'm thinking, oh, she's nuts. Like, there's no way. But you guys, I have the picture of the first day I pushed play, and I wish that I had taken a picture of myself, but instead I took a picture of my tennis shoes. And I have that, and you can see my ankles, you guys. It's interesting because I look at that picture and I can see who I was then and how much transformation needed to be made, but it's just a picture of my feet with tennis shoes. So, and I pushed play, you guys, I never looked back. I kept pushing play. I kept pushing through. Y'all, it was hard. I felt like I was going to be sick. I felt all the feelings, right? I hadn't moved my body in years, except for the 21 days of walking the month before. But like, this was different. I was lifting weights. I was following a trainer and really like digging into something. And so fast forward a year, I found out that there were coaches and that we had all of these online programs that you could download. And I signed up, and I was following one of the trainer's sisters that was part of that first program that I followed. And y'all, this is crazy. Kelsey who's my coach, liked one of her pictures and commented. I saw a picture. I clicked on her link, saw her, and I was like, oh, she has a daughter my age. Oh, she's going through a season like I'm going through. And so eventually we connected up, and I've been part of the community. That's where Tanya and I met. And you guys, my transformation is so much more about losing the weight. It's about finding time for myself, having quiet time every single morning, digging into the word, my daily devotional, practicing gratitude, working out, making healthier choices. It's a full transformation. And that didn't happen day one. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. Like, I'm over 4 years into this journey, and every season I've needed something different. One of the things I love about coaching is that it holds me accountable. I get to help other people just like our coach helped us to get started and get going. And I get to share my journey with other people. And continuing to share my journey with other people keeps me excited about the journey and keeps me excited about wanting to continue to make these changes and to not fall off. Have I fallen off? Yes. Have I at times like eaten all the food? Yes. I am not perfect. This journey is not about perfection. It is not about not ever, I'm never going to fall off again. But you have community and friends that are going to be there for you and lift you back up whenever you need to be lifted back up. And that's what coaching has meant so much to me. I mean, Tanya's one of my people, like, oh girl, I've been eating all the food, or, you know, whatever. We actually were talking earlier today how like this season's just been rough, and the pandemic it's been rough for me personally, having a husband as a first responder and just all the things, right? It's just all, I think it's been hard for a lot of us, right? And so maybe some of those old habits are trying to creep back in, but I'm not ever gonna be where I was when I started, because I know that that's not good for me. And I don't wanna go back there. I've never looked back. And I might fall off sometimes, but I might pick myself right back up and have that community to fall back on. And that's what coaching has meant so much for me. I could go on, but I'm not going to. I already feel like I've gone on enough, but.
I couldn't agree more. Like, it's been a therapeutic process for me, really.
It really has been. It's a mindset transformation, like your whole mindset just shifting from I can't do this, or to like, yes, I can do these things. I just have to say, yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And make big
Actually, that leads me into like there's 4 vital behaviors that we do as coaches. Did you want to show the PowerPoint tonight, or do you want to just kind of go through it?
It's up to you.
We can do the PowerPoint. Some people are visual learners.
Okay, so why don't you start talking, and I am going to find it and get it up here. Well, I know where it is. I just have to take the screen.
As a coach, I'm a unorganized person by nature. I'm not very organized, and I try my very best to be, but my strength is really in communication. Like, I love to connect with people. So I'm very grateful that the company has created something. They've created like a checklist. So this is a Thursday through Wednesday, because we get paid on Thursdays. Thursday through Wednesday, and there's a checklist of things that we can do. But the first part is be a proof that the product works. So they're basically saying, get your workout in and get one of the products in. So whether you're using Recover or you're using Shakeology, because if you're not using the stuff, it's like, well, you can't really share about it if you're not using it. Like, that's part of like what we do. Funny enough, I was talking to somebody today and they're like, Tanya, I wasn't using Shakeology and I started back up and I'm regular again. And they're like, is that too much information? And I'm like, no, I love to hear that. That it means your body is like doing what it's supposed to. Anyway, like things like that get me excited. I'm a weirdo. But like, that's the kind of stuff that you want to be able to experience, that kind of stuff. You want to be able to tell people that this stuff actually works. So that's part of it. There's second part is you're connecting and inviting people into the journey with, sharing in your stories or sharing in your posts or talking to people one-on-one. That's probably how a lot of you guys got started or connected with us, right? We all kind of fell in love with something, connected on a post maybe, and we both were excited about it, or maybe one of us shared something and the other person liked it. It's just basically we're like professional friend makers, and we're connecting with people on stuff. And then the third part is we're really helping people get results. So we're providing a boot camp, or you're running a boot camp with your coach. We're recognizing people's achievements. Basically, this is like the boot camp section. And then this last part is doing personal development. And that's really been something that's changed my life. I didn't really even know what personal development was. So those are the 4 areas really kind of broken down. It's like, be a proof that the product works. You're inviting to your journey. You're helping people get results and recognizing them. And you are participating in personal development. So what I mean by that is books or podcasts or audiobooks, things that are going to help you grow, as a person. So I'm reading Built to Last, which is a business personal development, but I'm also reading something called Untamed, which is more of a personal development of kind of growing into the person you're meant to be. Before that, I was reading Brene Brown's book on power of vulnerability. So you kind of pick whatever you need in your life. And they just recommend 15 minutes a day, but you guys, I love to soak up personal development like a sponge. So if I can get in, I'm going for a walk or I'm doing dishes or whatever it may be, I try to listen. I'm more of a listener. I listen to audiobooks all the time. So the cool thing is, part of what we do as a job is literally taking care of ourselves first, and then we're also helping other people along the way. So, oh, nice. It looks like
see my screen. It's being a stinker. Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
And a stinker. There we go.
Here I am.
Okay.
Do you want to share how long it's been in business and the next one after that?
Sure.
Flip-flop it?
Sure. So what is Beachbody? Beachbody, we've been in business for over 22 years, empowered over 20 million people, which those are probably old statistics, because honestly, over even just the last few months, it's been incredible how many people have realized that they enjoy working out from home because they had to. So we do the at-home workouts, nutrition, community, all from Wi-Fi. You can do it anytime, anywhere. That's one of the things that Tanya and I love about working this business together. We find time and we'll just hop on a Zoom call and work together. We might not even talk for the hour, but we're just there showing up and being accountable to each other that, hey, we're working our business right now. So that's something that's neat that you can do anytime, anywhere. So who is the opportunity for? Anyone looking for more in life. And it's for all the people, you guys. It's for the moms, it's for the non-moms, it's for people that are married, it's people that are single, students. We're living our lives by design. You need to be coachable. So meaning that list that Tanya just went over, you need to be able to be coached into doing some of those things daily and realizing that doing these things are not only going to help you, but it's going to be able to help other people. And the tools that they give you are just incredible. It's a true blessing. You need to be self-disciplined. So you need to be able to say, yes, I'm going to take an hour or two daily to sit and work on this business, or 10 hours a week, or whatever you want to put into it. It's not a mandatory amount of time. It's however much time you want to put into it. This is for people that want to help other people feel good. And that's kind of what we both were talking about with our journey, is that is something that has benefited us, and it benefits other people as well. So it's been so impactful for us all. And being imperfect and sharing it, I shared it earlier. You'll do calls like this and share your story with other people. And by you sharing your story with others is going to help somebody. And you might be thinking in your mind, oh, well, my story might not be able to help somebody. Every single person's story will help somebody. You just never know who it's going to help. You got to be able to be bold and share it. And this is for anyone who wants to work anywhere. So I've worked on vacations, on travels, on airplanes, work in my living room, work at night, sometimes when I'm in bed and can't sleep. So I'm not saying you should do all those things, but it's definitely something that you can do from anywhere, because basically you're using your phone for most of your work. So, and this is what Tanya was just talking about. What does a coach do? She kind of was talking about the working on yourself and personal development, but do you want to go ahead and finish that?
Yeah, sure. A really big part of what we do is celebrating and recognizing others. So you'll see that a lot in my stories. I try and celebrate women who are showing up for their workout for the day. In my posts, like the other day, I was celebrating myself, our team, and my coach, Mara, who hit a really big milestone in her business. She was considered a success starter. Someone who's a success starter means that they are consistently helping people within the first 6 months of their business, at least 3 months in that time frame. Now she gets to be part of a pilot test group before it's even launched to coaches. So she gets to be part of a workout program. She gets a free ticket to our coach summit. She got a team hoodie. And she just, it keeps momentum in your business, and it is recognizing, or it shows other people that you're serious about this and that you can actually do it. And then you're inviting, and then the nice thing is I'm reminded that anytime I sit down to actually invite somebody to doing this with me, it's on my tracker. This can change their life. I literally write it on my tracker, because sometimes I sit down and I might not have, my inner critic might kind of be in my head a little bit, reminding me who's going to want to sign up with me? I swear to God, even top coaches who are doing really good, they're probably thinking we all have our own inner critic sometime. And I have to remind myself, this changed my life, so this can change somebody else's life. And so that's what kind of keeps me going. And then calls like this just fire me up, because it reminds me where I was and where I am now, and just how many lives have been changed along the way. Because I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I cannot tell you how many messages I've gotten from women who call me crying and telling me this has changed their life, and now their kids want to work out with them, or now their husband is like, hey, can I do that with you? Or they're just they hit this plateau and didn't think it was possible. Or they're in a toxic relationship. One of my coaches used to be in a very abusive, toxic relationship, and she started this as a boot camper and left that relationship because she gained the confidence while doing the programs, and eventually became a coach because it changed her life so much. So those are the kinds of things that I truly love. I'm a social worker by trade, and so empowering others and feeling like I'm making a difference in someone's life is really what draws me to this. I do want to remind you guys, because we're going to get to fears and hesitations. So I'll go over that, because one of them on there is Is it on here? Well, mine was, I'm not on social media. I'm not really someone who wants to be taking pictures of myself or anything like that. I'm terrified of public speaking. I used to, so the very first time we did this call, Christy, was it like a year or two, year and a half ago, something like that? The very first time I did this call with Christy, you guys, I was sweating bullets. I couldn't breathe. I was like blacking out half the time. I couldn't remember what I was saying. I was terrified. The very first post I did, and I remember Christy telling me this too. She basically was having, didn't you have a panic attack the first time you clicked
I
submit?
did.
Yeah.
I
Like,
felt so sick. I was a mess. And I'm laughing, you guys. So don't be like, oh my God, Christy's being rude, laughing at Tanya. Like, I'm laughing because I felt sick. Like, I was like, there's no way I can talk in front of people. So you gain confidence in areas that you didn't even know that you needed to gain confidence. Like, public speaking now is nothing to Tanya and I. We sit and speak all of the time. We ran a goal setting workshop in January for people. I mean, just doing things that we never would have done.
Oh yeah, never. Because when I'm at a staff meeting of like 30 people that I know, I'm sweating bullets and I can't breathe. So let alone talking to strangers, I'm like terrified. Still going live still makes me nervous, but over time, gradual exposure to things, you get more and more comfortable. I wasn't comfortable at first, but over time you have people messaging you saying like, even if they don't sign up with you, you'll have people messaging you saying, you inspired me today. Thank you for showing up because you did, I did too. And you get messages like that and you're like, so the person that you're thinking about that might be judging you, everyone's going to judge us no matter what, right? Like, people are going to judge us no matter what we do. And we can't please everybody, but their judgment doesn't change that person's life like we are able to. And that person's judgment doesn't pay the bills that are coming in. And so those are the kinds of things that I like to remember, because that was more of my fear and hesitation. I also was worried that I wasn't really fit enough because I was 30 pounds overweight, and then mentally was in a terrible place. I had never really done anything online, so I didn't know like how I was going to do that, and I was worried about having to like stock product, which we don't do anything like that. So everything that we do is probably something you may have experienced already. We help someone put an order together and send them a link. So it's easy peasy. If there's a problem, there's customer service and they take care of all of that for us. If you know how to help someone, you can obviously do that. Like, Christy and I have been doing this for a while, so sometimes it's just easier for us to like help somebody. But we have a customer service line and a coach service, like it's called Coach Relations, and they can help walk through all that. But one thing that I like to remind people, because so many people will tell me, I want to coach, but I need to work on me first. And I was like, that's what I do all the time. That's honestly why I coach, because I was like, I need to work on me. And I know that if I tell people I'm now coaching, come do this with me and let's have this transformation together, they get to see a real person, not someone who looks like this perfect model who's already in this fit shape that, you might have in your head. They get to watch someone transform, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, all of that stuff. So I love it, like Christy was saying, because I fall off sometimes too. Like the beginning of the pandemic, my anxiety, and even recently, I got injured doing something simple at home. Like I was twisting, and I have chronic knee issues that actually got better with Beachbody programs because I used to run, and the running was really bad on my knees. Well, anyway, I got in my head because I had injured myself. And I was reminded through coaching stuff, like the personal development and taking time for herself, like how to get back on track. Because I was starting to sink into a poor me, I can't do my workout. How am I going to actually, inspire anybody and show up in my own boot camp if I can't work out? And it helped me kind of get back there. It because it encourages the personal development. So, and we don't stock product at all. So that's really nice. Don't know how to be a fitness coach. None of us do when we first start this. It's very rare that you have someone who actually is a personal trainer or a fitness coach. All of us pretty much start like ground zero. And then we have a self-paced mentorship that you can follow along. So it's online. It can take people about a week, couple weeks, or longer, depending on what you want to put into it. But it walks you through everything. And then we also have team trainings that you can go to. We also have a team call each week to help people like know, okay, what's a marketing plan for this week? Like, how can I really leverage my business to really help me grow? We also have community stuff like coffee chat on Saturdays, or I host a hustle hour on Saturday mornings. You don't have to do it at that time, but I host that, and then other coaches will host throughout the week where you can hop on and work with them, where it's guided. So like they'll have a PowerPoint up so you know exactly, okay, this is the task we're going to work on right now. And it keeps us like new coaches, that really helps us kind of understand what to do. So I think, oh, and I don't want to be salesy. We try to, well, our goal is mainly really to share our story. We're not, you don't see me like holding like a Shakeology bag, and you don't see me like, we're not doing product placement, because we're really trying to connect people with us and our journey. Whether any company get products, right? But it's really the person and the community. I was talking to my clinical director yesterday, and he was talking to help someone change life, they have to feel connected. Is my internet unstable?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
But I can
you hear me?
you. You're just not moving, but it's okay. We can hear you.
I'm not what? Moving?
You're not, you're not moving, but we can hear you.
Oh, I'll let you take over. But I just was really powerful that the clinical director was like, no one's going to make a change unless they feel connected in some kind of way. Because you can get products and workout programs anywhere, but unless you feel connected to it, it's easy to drop off. It's easy to not care about it. So Christy, go ahead and take over. I'm going to see if I can hotspot my phone here. Sorry, guys.
Okay, no worries. No worries. No, that's one of the things that I feel like is the biggest thing for me is our community. And we all run our own little community groups, and just being part of that and knowing that people are going to show up and be there and support you and offer tools, offer inspiration, offer friendship. All of those things are just a really neat part of what coaching is all about. So, and being afraid of those things, like, talking about your fears and hesitations, like maybe a fear is, oh my gosh, I couldn't run a group. Well, that's why you get to run your groups with your coach and run them all the time with them, or run them on your own and learn from them and spin off whatever you want to do, however you want to run your groups. And I mean, that's one of the things that Tanya and I were in a group together for a long time. And then we both felt called to move on and start running our own groups, because there were things that we felt like maybe we were missing in that big group that we wanted to share and encourage, maybe in a little bit different way. And so that's a really neat opportunity that you have whenever you do this business. So you don't have to be scared to run something on your own or do it all alone, because you're not ever alone. I run hustle hours with my girls. We're there to help support and cheer people on, help them along the way. So how do we get paid? We get paid by commissions by helping people. 25% on the products. We get team volume at a certain point. So once you start team building and have 2 or more coaches on your team, you're called an emerald. And then as you continue to add people, there's different levels, which will increase your income as well. The incentives increase. At certain levels, you'll receive bonuses, and your team volume increases at different stages along the way. One of the neat perks that they do is Success Club awards, and so they do quarterly awards. So maybe a t-shirt. This time it's like a t-shirt, and then if you do it 3 months in a row, then it's a puzzle, which is actually kind of fun. And like a few months later, sweatshirt. So it's fun little incentives just to keep you pushing towards those goals. So kind of like the t-shirts that you can earn whenever you turn in your results after you finish a program. They also do incentives like that for coaches. So
And big incentives like traveling opportunities.
oh my gosh, yes, duh. Like, well, all of our travels have been canceled this year. So like I've stopped even like thinking about all that stuff. But like Tanya and I both earned a trip. We were supposed to go to Punta Cana together in March. And we actually were supposed to leave the week after the pandemic all started. And so obviously we canceled, well, we had canceled our trip before, but our Beachbody canceled our trip. And then I like to talk about this, which, you know, maybe nobody cares about this, but I felt like so blessed that we work for a company that actually does care about our health. Like we are a wellness company, right? So they canceled the whole trip, but then they also refunded any monies that we had paid because you have to put a deposit down. And not everybody would have done something like that. Like they go above and beyond and do things that they don't have to do, but they do it because they're a good company. And I'm proud to say that I'm part of a company that cares about their people. And I felt very cared for through all that. And then the same thing with Coach Summit. Tanya and I were supposed to go in July on a trip together. It's a 5-day conference. It's so much fun. We went and were roomies last year together. It was a blast. But of course, it was supposed to be in New Orleans and they canceled that. And then the same thing, like they took care of everything. You didn't even have to call anybody. They refunded your hotel deposits, your anything that you had paid towards that. They took care of all of the money back. So I thought that was pretty impressive for them to do that. So, but we're hopeful they do things that way. And like if you're a success starter, like Tanya was talking about, well, lots of those girls that were success starters in their first year, they get a free ticket to Coach Summit. And for those of us that are Success Club earners, and that's how we earn our Success Club trip, our trip to Punta Cana that's paid for. So there's, what is the trip this year? It's to Mexico. So
Riviera Maya, yeah.
Yes. So, you know, there's just lots of fun incentives. And like for our family, my husband and I went on a cruise. Our very first cruise that we ever attended was a Beachbody cruise that I earned a couple years ago. And it was incredible, just an amazing experience to get to go and be around that community in person and get to meet a lot of the people that you've been working with and haven't gotten to meet because our community, I mean, I'm in Texas, Tanya's over in Illinois, like we couldn't be further apart, but she's one of my best friends and we talk often and work together often and are there for each other through all the things. And we would have never met had it not been for all of this. So it's pretty cool. So how to join us. I think everybody on this call is already part of our community. Is that correct, Tanya? Or
yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody is. So they already have this part taken care of. So there's no, like the challenge pack and everything, you guys have already done all this.
Yeah.
The customer service, we have a website and the coach relations is at $15.95 fee. But you guys know, even if you weren't to sell anything or to even coach, you guys know that you're still saving more than a regular customer if you're getting Shakeology or the Performance Stack or both. Because for me, I'm getting Shakeology, the Performance Stack. I love the beach bars because it's nice to have grab and go. I kept them in my office for students that maybe miss breakfast. And so they're very reasonable price compared to other like protein granola bar kind of things. I also get our collagen because it's half the price of the other collagen that I bought from some beauty website that you have to drink on an empty stomach. And I'm a foodie, so I never have an empty stomach. So that didn't work out for me. So you guys, like all of those products, I also get Hydrate because when I'm doing, I don't drink it all the time, but if you're doing a program that you're sweating a lot, like MBF coming up, you will sweat a lot. I'll throw that in throughout the day because that's a healthy, natural product to give you electrolytes if you're sweating a ton instead of drinking Gatorade. So all of those things, I'm saving 25% off all of those things. So I'm saving way more. Like if I didn't even help a single person, I'm saving well over $100 some just on having my discount.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing is I'm also creating an income because I love to help people, love to invite people into our boot camp. And then we're creating those bonuses because there's coaches under me who love to help people now too. And so actually 60% of my income is not even from commissions. It's from my coaches who are helping other people and moving up the ranks themselves as well. So I think one of the best things that we get to do is we get to watch people we've helped now start to help other people, or see boot campers now help their family. And it's just like this ripple effect of health. You know, even the people that you're talking to online that may never sign up with you, it's just the coolest thing. Like you're able to really help people change their life. So I love it. But anyway, I'll shut up.
Relationships along the way. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what now? We're going to open the floor for questions. We would love to answer any questions you guys might have. Don't be shy. We are an open book. You can just unmute yourself and ask question if you have one, or you can type it in the chat if you feel more comfortable with that. That picture, that last picture was
That's cute.
on our cruise.
I love those hats. That's what I
was so much fun.
Huh? I said I love those hats.
They're so cute.
I love hats.
I do too.
The only reason I don't always wear them is because then it flattens your head, and I have to wash my hair, and I like to wash my hair like once a week. I'm serious. I have very dry, coarse. I have dry, coarse hair, and the stylist at my salon said that is excellent. Dry shampoo is my best friend. I don't sweat a lot though, you guys. So like, if I do sweat, it's more like my body versus my head. So, while people are thinking of questions, I want to let you guys know, if you are thinking about becoming a coach, right now is probably like the best time because we have a launch coming up. And anytime you have a launch coming up, like anytime we have a launch, it greatly impacts my business, because when you're doing a launch, it's something brand new and exciting. The other cool thing is they have the VIP release section where it's only coaches that can sign up. So now you're already adding coaches under you, and some of those people are going to want to work the business. Not everybody will, and that's okay. But launches are great times to get people signed up because they're excited. And our boot camp, we're going to be joining forces with all the leaders on our team, and it's going to be full of energy. Like it's going to be a really fun time. There's different periods of the year that are just not great for signing up, to be honest. Like if you are signing up as a coach a week before Christmas, good luck, because everyone's going home. So if you are, if you're going to be coaching now, I mean, I'm just being real. I'm going to be a straight shooter. I'm not going to lie. Like, don't sign up. Don't start working then. Like, start now if you want to work. But yeah. So Jessica, do you have a minimum in sales to stay active? To stay active, you can either purchase or sell what we call 50 personal volume to stay active. Does that make sense? So if you are someone that's helping people, that's kind of like comparable to like $50, which you guys know Shakeology is like 90 PV. But when you think about it, if you're actively coaching, you would be either getting stuff or selling stuff anyway. So like if you are being a product of the product, that will never be a problem for you. If you're utilizing the stuff on a regular basis, how it's meant to get the results that you would want, you would never have an issue with that. And when you're starting, a good goal to have if you want to hit Success Club or get the free trips is helping 3 to 5 people. Sorry guys, I don't know what you're blending. We're almost done. He's trying to blend Brussels sprouts in some kind of food processor. But if you're helping about 3 to 5 people a month, you have gone well above that. Plus you're going to be moving towards Success Club, and that's only 3 to 5 people. Linda, can you talk about the time commitment or how much time you devote to coaching per week or day? How often are team meetings? That's a great question. So we might have different answers, but if you sit down, you can knock this out in a solid hour, like the parts that are actually like income producing. Like if you set it, so what I like to do is it gives you estimated times of how long things take. Yeah, I have my timer right here because this is what I sit to work.
Yes, we use timer. Like when we do our action hour, you guys, we actually set the timer for, okay, we're going to do this task for 10 minutes and then it's over. Like when the 10 minutes is over, the task is done and you move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And what I would like to say is if you give yourself 3 hours to do a task, and in reality, it might take you 10 minutes, it's going to take you 3 hours. And so that's why we sit down, we set a timer, and we're like, okay, let's just knock this out right now. And then anything else you do in addition to that is like just bonus stuff that you can do if you want to. I like to spend about probably an hour or two each day. And then on the weekends, I might put in a little bit more. But that's because I'm someone that, oh my God, my cats are going crazy. Sorry, guys. But I'm someone that my goal is to really build a business. My goal is to leave my full-time job. And so depending on the weekend, like it was Father's Day, so I didn't even work Father's Day. But like if I have a weekend, I might work for like 4 hours in the morning to kind of help me build things faster. You don't have to do that. There's some top coaches who've built just by having that 1 hour to 2 hour pocket every day because that's all they had. But when you only have that, you're way more efficient. And it's totally possible to build a business that way. But it would be about the efficiency of the task. And you'll, like, as you go, like, it's going to take you longer in the beginning, and then you get more efficient as you go with things. And you'll have seasons sometimes when you may be quicker and you may be a little slower, depending on how motivated and how inspired you feel. But that's what I would say, Christy, like a couple hours a day, maybe a little more on the weekend, depending on who you are. That's how I run it because I work full time and I tend to work like 10 to 12-hour days during the week. So I don't put a ton of time during the week usually.
Yeah. And see, I do an hour. I try to do an action hour daily. And then I do other little things and pockets of time throughout the day. That's one of the things that I enjoy about the business is that I can work in pockets of time. So if my kids are watching a Disney movie that they've seen or played 30 times, I don't need to see that 30 times, but I can be sitting there next to them and be present, but I don't have to watch Frozen again. I can sit and add some new people or have some conversations or answer some questions. So, I mean, it's definitely a pockets of time business. I definitely spend one Saturday a month, not all day Saturday, but several hours creating the content for our boot camps. Sometimes I have people that are helping me with that. Sometimes I run them by myself. So it just depends on what that looks like. But I don't, for creating our boot camp content, I talk with our team and we talk about what we want to lead. Everybody is offered to lead if they want to, and then whoever wants to help helps, and we take the days. But we schedule. I always create all of my content in advance and schedule it to post. So it's not something that I feel overwhelmed with every single day. It's something that I sit and actually enjoy doing once a month, creating it, really brainstorming, thinking about it. So that's really one of the things that probably I spend most, like a more pockets of time. But as far as everything else, it's just, throughout the week. So, and it's something that I enjoy too. Like Beachbody has content already written and you can use all of their group stuff. So I just personally, I enjoy writing the content and studying and figuring that out and creating graphics. So, you do what you enjoy doing most and you're going to spend your time with that. So,
yeah, and then for like I think everyone does it a little bit different. I tend to kind of create the content on the fly. So I don't sit down on the weekend and do it. But I also really love to use, like, I have resources that I love to use. So I've actually never used the Beachbody's resources, but I've heard other coaches say that it's nice and helpful. But this is a nutritional book to help with like mental health disorders. So like I'm using stuff that I would use like in my daily life. And then But I have coaches who like to sit and plan it all out, like, you know, like on the weekend. But I kind of get like inspired like midweek, and then I'll write the post then, you know. And then as far as team meetings, so our team has, these are not required, these are encouraged so that you can know like what's going on, but they're recorded and you can do them in your own time. Like when I was driving to work, I would listen to them sometimes on my drive to work. Like the recording if I had something going on. But they're Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Central Time is when we have like our big team meeting. The coffee chats, if you want to attend those, they're not required. But I love them. You're connecting with your team. And then we're also usually kind of going over something that's really helpful in the business. And that's once on a Saturday morning. Trying to think if there's anything else.
And then there's the National Wake Up Call, which is Mondays at 10 a.m. Central, which is the Beachbody team call. And so
it's recorded too. I never watch it live usually because I can't.
It's recorded on Facebook. And honestly, when I'm at my office on Mondays, it's really like a podcast. And so you can just have it playing. You can put it in earbuds. You could listen to it on your way home from work. So and that's another way just to get inspiration and encouragement. None of those calls are required. Are those calls helpful? Yes. Like, and one of the things that I really recommend as a coach is you start with something, right? Just like you start with something on your journey for your wellness. Well, you start with something with your coaching, and you listen to the National Wake Up Call, and you add your team call or the Saturday morning coffee chat if you feel like that's more helpful. You find what benefits you the most and helps you the most, and that's where you spend that extra time. So
I will say, from the coaches that I've started, every time they leave a team call, the Sunday night team call or the coffee chat, they're like, I feel so fired up. Like, I just like want to sit down and like knock out some work because they were just so fired up from the call. So like, to give you an idea, like usually the calls are something that's going to get you excited about something. And then the National Wake Up Call that's on Mondays, I truly make that a non-negotiable to listen to that at some point throughout the week. I try to make it as early as possible in the week because they're going to share some kind of important information. So they will share like a marketing thing, but they also have a coach who hasn't been on in a while. They'll share their story. And then they also share some kind of tip, something that they're rocking at. So maybe they're really doing really well in the business on X. Maybe it's boot camps, maybe it's inviting, maybe they have a lot of coaches who are ranking really fast, and they're going to share their exact tips and tools of how they do that. So this business is all about community and helping each other. They're never going to like hide, oh yeah, don't tell them because we're all in competition. You will never find that this company is all like, okay, how can we do this and how can we help more and more people? Which I love, because you could imagine, you know, we're all online wellness coaches, but at the end of the day, we're all very unique people and we're all going to attract very different people, right? Like the people that I'm attracting are probably very different than maybe Sally over here, who, you know, maybe she has grandchildren and maybe she's been married to her partner for 60 years. And maybe she is close to, you know, doing these other things, but she's inspiring a whole different group of women who are like me. I don't have any kids. I have a dog and 2 cats. I'm still working full time. Like the people that we might connect with are in different seasons of life or for different reasons. I tend to connect much more with people who are on a mental health journey because I'm immersed in that field. And Christy connects really well to people who are very spiritual because her devotion and her talking about her faith is very important to her. So at the end of the day, we just link arms and we really help each other out, which is the coolest thing. You know, it's all about community.
It is all about community for sure. And the business side as well about community. So
yeah.
There's no secrets to the business. Everybody shares their secrets.
Yep. Always. And you know what the secret is?
The secret is that. And Beachbody talks about it. And you guys, you print this little sheet out and it tells you, did you work out today? Yes. Did you talk to people today? Yes. Did you check in on your group today? Yeah. I mean, it's very simple. The tasks are all simple, you guys. It's not anything complicated.
This whole section is all on Instagram stories. Did you post something about your life? Did you do a workout clip? And if you didn't do it for that day, just do it the next day. There's days that I don't do everything all the time, but the more consistent you are with this, the more likely you are to see success in the business. But they tell you exactly what to do. They're like, yep, if you do these things, research has shown that you will be successful in this.
And then our team hosts the action hours. So that could have been another question that you're curious about as far as like team meetings and stuff. And those are never required, but they're just a space for us to get together and work together. And so when Tanya and I hop on and my team page, I go on and I'm like, hey, we're hopping on. If anybody wants to come on, this is the link, join us. So sometimes we do guided ones with our timers, and sometimes we just sit there muted and work together. So it just depends what season we're in. And Jessica, to answer your question about the $50 again, it is 50, but it's not, they're not going to kick you out if you don't spend $50. So maybe that's your question that you're asking.
Yeah.
You do not have to spend the $50. You're not going to earn the income if there's not the $50 there, but you're not going to earn the income unless there was $50 there anyway. You know what I mean? So like I don't think it would be hard to do the $50, but they're not going to make you spend $50 every month. I know there's a lot of businesses where you have to have a minimum every single month, and that's not the case.
No. And if you are just an active coach, meaning you don't have coaches under you, nothing happens. It just says you've gone inactive, like you aren't really actively working the business.
Oh, yeah. So Linda was asking that question too. So yeah, for sure. So if you're inactive, you're just inactive. I mean, I have several inactive coaches underneath me right now, and they're still there. So you still pay the $15.95 a month, but you didn't order any product that month. But the $15.95 a month is for your website, and it's for all of those back-end tools, and it's for that discount. So you would, no matter what, you would get charged that, but you do not have to have, you can be inactive and just pay that. So
the only time that it's more important is when you start to move up the ranks. And if you're moving up the ranks, you're going to have that anyway, because you're helping other people. So like Christy said, like it's never really a problem. But like say you signed a couple people up, and then you would all have to not be doing anything for it to really take an effect.
But I've had that happen. Just for y'all to know, like I've been doing this 2.5 years, and I've not been inactive before. But I also use the products, and I'm with Tanya, except I'm going to have to add the Power Greens in because I'm a Power Greens girl. I got to get that extra veggie in. So, yes. So yeah, well, inactive coach and get the 25, the $15.95 a month is for you to get that 25% discount. So no matter what, if you have 0 coaches under you, we call it a hobby coach or a discount coach. The discount coach is basically, you're not planning on building any team. Maybe you help a friend or two get the discount too, but you're still going to get your discount. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So whether you have to work it.
Yeah, whether you want to work it or not, work the business if you want the discount. That's like everyone's welcome to join whatever path is right for them. I did see Jessica had a question. Where was it? Oh, I'm not big on cold calling, and I don't like to pressure. What are some good tips to show people? So honestly, one of the best things you can do, go all in on your own health and fitness and share it. And people will be inspired by that and sharing your stories. And when you have people who are liking and commenting, connect with them, thank them for their support. And through conversation over time, it might pop up that really inspired them. And then you could say, hey, well, if this really inspires you, would you ever want to do this with me? If not, like, cool. And then they're like, yeah or no. And then you're like, cool. And then you continue the conversation on either that or something else. But I like to think of it as, if you had the best cake in your life, you're probably going to post a picture about it, and you might talk about it to friends. You're not going to like hide it and be like, this is only for me. You know what I mean? And so you're just kind of sharing what you're doing. You're sharing why you love it. I don't do product placement though, because as soon as you start saying the exact name of what you're doing or showing pictures of exactly what it is, someone can go to a website, buy it on their own, and now they're on their own little journey by themselves instead of us joining in a community and helping them along the way. And plus, as a coach, we know major ways to save money for people. Like when we bundle things together, we can help someone save a ton of money. Like Alex, because she, so like we know the ins and the outs of like when things go on sale and how to really help someone save a bunch of money that way. And as far as like cold calling, a lot of what we do is really kind of initiating a connection and connecting with someone first. But if someone's like on my page watching my stories and I'm watching them watch my stories for a while, I may say, hey, I saw you checking some things out. Did you want information? I mean, if they're already on your page checking stuff out,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like some store and you kind of like letting them just like peruse, like for like 2 hours and they're kind of like waiting because most people are a little nervous to say anything to you.
If people are following my stories, if they're liking or commenting on my posts, if we're having conversations, those are like my 4 areas where you're going to get an invite. We've connected in some way. If someone's sitting and watching my stories, even just a couple days in a row, well, there's some connection there, right? They're following you. They're watching what you have to say, Jessica.
That's right. I did do that, didn't I?
And sometimes, Jessica, you're going to ask somebody 10 times and they're going to tell you no. And the 11th time, they're going to tell you yes. You don't stop. I've been connecting with Jessica for a long time, and she's just joined our group this month. And that's the beauty of this. Jessica, what if I had asked you 11 months ago and then I never asked you again? I mean, and that's the thing, people get afraid to keep asking people or to keep conversating with people. Well, Jessica and I had a connection 11 months ago. That connection didn't just disappear. Like, I didn't invite her just to invite her. We had connected and talked and whatever. She is still watching my stories. Yes, I'm still going to invite Jessica. Jessica's told me no many times, but that doesn't mean that the 11th time Jessica's not going to be ready. And she's ready now. So that's a good example. I'm glad that you got my attention because it's so true. And I'm not trying to call her out in any way. I just want you guys to know that that's what this is about, is building your community, building relationships with people, and helping them along the way. That's what it's about. It's about friendship. It's about having fun together as we grow in those ways that we need to grow. I tell people that all the time. It's not just at-home workouts. It's about all the things. So it's about all the things that I share in my stories. It's about all the things that Tanya shares in her stories. And then if you guys decide to join us on this journey and do the coaching as well, it's going to be about your story and what you're sharing with other people. You get paid when you just sell the product. Yeah, I mean, we get, so
One way.
That's how we get paid. Is
that's about 40% of my income is just the commission part. And then the 60 part of my income, the 60%. So I calculated it 1 month because I was curious. 40% of this of my income was based off the commissions that I made. But then the 60%, the company likes to give you these bonuses for just like producing like volume for underneath you. Like, so previous customers getting other things, it creates this volume and they like to give you extra bonuses for it. So they didn't even have to do that. They just give you that. And then there's all these different like bonus opportunities that I didn't even know were existing. I went into my paycheck and I was like, oh, they gave me a bonus for this? What is that? Like, I don't even.
She asked me about.
I'm like, you guys, this is how little I focus on that part of it because I'm so focused on how can I help these people in my boot camp? How can I help my coaches help other people, that I know I'm getting paid, but I didn't know that all this stuff happened. Like, that wasn't my focus. I should, but.
But that's what we said in the very beginning. And there's going to be coaches. is income and earning that extra income. And then there's going to be the coaches that they just want to do it for the discount. They love the products and they want the discount. And then there's going to be the coaches that want to help a few of their friends and family and they want to do it that way. And then there's going to be the coaches that I'm going to say, like me and Tanya, that we are building our teams and we are excited to build a team and we are there to help people. But our number one focus isn't earning that extra income. Our number one focus is helping other people. And I mean, that's how we started off to begin with. I know Tanya, she does have hopes to do this full time at some point. For me, I don't know. I just really enjoy doing this and love it. I love our community, and you know, it's just a fun thing for us to do. So I think everybody has different purposes, and you just have to figure out what your purpose would be and what you want out of this. So does anyone else have any other questions?
I do want to say, like when Christy was like saying, I invited her 11 times and she kept saying no. So what typically someone would do is like you would invite and they might say, oh, not right now, check in with me later, or, you know, I'm just not at this time. And you don't keep pestering somebody like in that moment. But if you have like a new opportunity, like say you have a brand new boot camp or maybe a free group, you could say, hey, I know then wasn't a good time. Could this help you? I noticed you've been kind of checking this stuff out. So it's not like you're like, hey, yet? Hey, yet? You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't that way, right, Jessica?
No, it wasn't. That's why I was like, I bet you guys are thinking this, but it's not. It's like there's different opportunities that arise. Like maybe a launch is happening and you're like, hey, do you want to get information on this launch? Or, hey, we're doing this free Sweaty Saturday. Did you want to join us for that? So there's all sorts of different opportunities to do that where you're not even like actually selling anything. You're offering free opportunities many of the times that we do this.
Well, Jessica was in my free group for a while too. So there's all, and that's the thing. And that's what it's about, is offering your services. I have a devotional group that we have. There's lots of people that are in there that I know will never do the Beachbody thing, but that's a service that I want to offer because I need it. And I know somebody else must need it too, right? Like, and the same thing with our free groups that we run. So there's lots of different opportunities to connect with other people. No, I hope, Jessica, you don't think I was harassing. But seriously, I just want you also to know that you might ask people a few times, and I don't want you to be feeling frustrated by that in any way, because a few no's doesn't always mean no. So.
Yeah, I'll have someone that I've asked and then like a year later, they're ready then.
Yeah.
So it just depends on somebody, you know, where everyone's at in their journey. Like people, we're not asking them to do like try out a nail polish, right? We're not asking them to get a new cute shirt or some new workout clothes. We're asking people to change their life. Yeah. Essentially, we're asking people, you willing to change your habits and create a healthy life? And that's scary. And that's why most people are not going to come to you. Most of the time you have to kind of connect with them and eventually bring it up to them because you care about their health and you know that this works and you've seen it happen. So I try to remind my own coaches that we're changing people's lives. And so sometimes, you know, you got to plant that seed and let them know this is an opportunity, because sometimes people have no idea that you're a coach. Not always. Sometimes they're like, oh, they're really into health and fitness. That's awesome. They might not have any idea unless you actually talk about it or invite them, you know? And to answer your question, Jessica, I started at one of the most stressful times in my life. And I think sharing your journey and connecting with people on something that they can relate, because people don't relate to someone who's always happy, their life is perfect. Who can relate? No one can relate to that, right? And so kind of talking through like your journey and what you're doing to kind of conquer that stress, or what you're doing to find support during that time, or maybe how the community has helped you, or whatever that is going on, that those are truly the things that people are going to connect. Like when I'm in my stories, it's very rare that I look like put together, you know? It's very rare that things look perfectly all the time. because that's not relatable, you know. That's the stories are the best part on Instagram because it doesn't have to be polished as much as those pictures on the grid. The grid is a little bit more polishy. Mine weren't when I began. They've gotten better, but they're still not perfect. But like in the stories, you can be real and raw and just yourself, no makeup, messy, you know. If you're a mom, you got poop in your hair, whatever. Like it's just real, you know, and that's what people are going to connect with, you know?
Yeah.
So I saw the time, and I thank you guys for all the questions. Christy and I are really excited that you guys are here, and we feel terrible that it took as long as it did, but you guys had some great questions.
Y'all did have great questions. Does anybody have any more questions? I looked at the time and I thought, oh my gosh, Tanya, we
love
answered a lot of questions tonight. So,
and we love connecting with people and helping people, and this is one of my favorite things to do, honestly.
We do. It is. This is one of my favorite nights of the month, is getting together and just sharing our stories and answering people's questions and just, you know.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions before we let you guys go?
Well, good.
Do you guys want to do a fun little boomerang?
Oh yeah, let's do a boomy because we've been
here
for so long.
Forever. Do you guys know what a boomerang is? Oh, okay. Well, I will show you. You go to Instagram or your phone. I should probably turn a light on. Can you guys see my face?
Well, the sun has like gone down. Oh.
I'm sitting in the dark. Here, I'll go turn a light on.
Hey, I look shiny. Oh my goodness. You guys, thank y'all so much for sticking with us so long.
So on Instagram, there's a little infinity symbol, and that just means boomerang. And then I just face it this way, and then we can just wave.
So everybody get ready to wave.
Unless you're not comfortable, then you don't have to be in it. You can close your video out, but we just do for funsies.
For funsies.
I know. I'm like,
we have our camo.
I talk like I'm like 15 sometimes because I work with children.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready for a wave?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, wave. And then it looks like
good job, everybody. That's fun.
You guys are awesome.
Well, I'd love to see all of you guys on our next team call. That would be super awesome. Yeah. But be sure to reach out to your coach if you have any other questions, and be sure to, you know, just let them know how they can help.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like if you want to do this and you want help, like let us know. Because otherwise I wouldn't want you to try and do this on your own, because we have so many resources to help people get started. So, alrighty. Thanks, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.